You all hear me okay? Okay, y'all probably would hear me better if y'all was in the front row.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I was going to have everybody get up and exercise, come up to the front, just so I could do what we were just told that we need to do, is walk. I didn't do it. I'm not going to do it. So let you all sit easy, and I got some other information for you. So, first and foremost, when I came to last year, was in this room. Small room, a little more tight. This is good. We just need to get more butts and seats. Okay, so we need to get the folks that you need to tell somebody about what you experienced today and make sure that folks are coming to an event like this. This is sponsored. You're not paying any real money. This is information that you should be paying me, a doctor, give you information. We'll give you this free of charge. That's a wonderful thing, and we're that's a wonderful thing. Our community needs more activities, more things like this. And I'm looking forward to our group. I always forget the name, Still I Ride, to do just what they've been doing. So, first and foremost, I did want to change the name. We call it Healthy for the Holidays. I got a few other suggestions. And I gave a few suggestions last year, and they didn't take my suggestions. Let me see what you all think about my suggestions. How about this? May your holiday be merry and your body healthy and fit. Maintain, don't gain this holiday season. Okay, how about this? Eat, drink, and be holiday healthy. Yeah. Come on now. Okay, how about stay hot for the holidays?
Yeah.
Holidays is usually cold outside. You want to stay hot. That's what I'm saying. I was thinking of that, but how about this? 'Tis the season to be healthy. I have a lot of suggestions coming on. Have a whole healthy holiday season. So, and I thought about what I've talked about in the past, and I thought I need to really change some of the things that I'm talking about because folks may be getting tired of the same old. But then I thought about it and I said, you know what? Some folks haven't heard some of this same old. So I figured I was going to give you some of the stuff that I've talked about in the past. And can you all hear me with this mic? Because I'm moving my hand around a lot, but I can't stand directly in that light here. I don't want to carry up this letter. That's one of the buttons in that. This way, my button. So, I don't want to cover him up. I definitely don't want to overshoot him. I'm sure you all have some words about him. I would imagine that earlier. I wish I could have been here. I was in Chicago. I should be from Chicago to be here. Not that I live in Chicago, I just happen to be a lot of meetings. So don't take what I'm saying lightly, okay? But also don't take it heavy and easy, because I don't want anybody being with me talk. Okay, so one of the 10 top reasons that we gain weight is because we skip breakfast. Now, who here, be honest, who here eats breakfast at least 5 days a week? Okay, look around. Less than half. Okay, so that's a clue. If I'm saying it, it's probably true. I'm saying what it does is get your metabolism started, get you beefed up, get your body heated, so that you can burn off those calories. Because you have to take something in to burn stuff off. You already heard that already. Okay, a lot of the things I'm saying, I guarantee you will have been said again. I'm just going to reiterate a lot of things. There's a lot of research out there on weight gain, and it was mentioned, a couple times that there may be some controversy about certain things when it comes to weight loss. And if we do all the ways people the actual way everybody was losing weight, guess what? Everybody would be losing weight. Okay? But what works for one person doesn't always work for the other. I can guarantee you that for everybody, if you eat less and walk more, you're going to lose weight. Wouldn't you agree? And you have to agree with that. If you don't agree with that, raise your hand. Matter of fact, stand up. Okay, I didn't think that was going to happen. So that's, that's important to remember, is that it gets your metabolism started. Actually eating a smaller supper at an earlier time is really important. A lot of us, and I would like to see a show of hands, who eats after 6 p.m. most days? Okay, probably 90 to 95% of us do that. And that's probably the absolute worst thing to do. Because what do we do after we've eaten our last meal of the day?
Watch TV and go to sleep.
We sit down. We either sit down and watch TV or we just go to sleep. But we don't do anything. The best time to exercise is not in the morning. Best time to exercise is after you've eaten the biggest meal of the day. 2 hours after, give your body some chance to kind of get the food in, because now you can metabolize all those carbs that you just took in.
Yeah.
So you will get more out of an exercise at night than you will out of an exercise in the daytime. Do I say then don't do your exercise in the daytime? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying do them both. What the heck? If you're already doing morning exercise, just add a 20, 25 minutes in the evening. Guess what will happen? You might just lose some weight. Isn't that amazing? So that's what we ask you to do. Eat a smaller supper at an earlier time, like 4:30, 5:30, round in that time period. And then you do have a couple hours to allow your food to get in there, and then you can actually get out there and burn off what you just ate. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay? And I'm talking 20 minutes, 25 minutes. If you can do those, if you can do a mile and a half in that 20 minutes, that's a wonderful thing. If you can do 3 miles in that same 20 to 25 minutes, that's a wonderful thing. But what I encourage people to do is not look at how many miles they're walking, but how much time they're putting in it, making sure that they're doing. And I don't do exacts. I really don't. I don't tell people to eat an exact number of calories, although the calorie information that you were given is excellent, because if you don't know how much calorie stuff is, you just don't know. I mean, you didn't know that a Snickers bar was equivalent to 5 fruit. You didn't know that before today, okay? And so now you can say, well, you know what? I can make a smarter choice now. Do I need to know how many calories is in that banana? Not really, but you need to know that the Snickers compared to the banana, okay? Right. You know that. And so that's why it's important that you all are looking at the information and not trying to be very exact. I don't like telling my patients to count calories. I've never told a patient you need to be on 1,200 calories, 1,400 calories, 1,800 calories a day, because they don't know what the heck that is. They don't know what a calorie is. They don't know what 1,000 calories are unless I show it. And so you see it, and I'm not going to tell you, measure a certain specific number. Okay, just eat less. Just eat less. Whatever you were eating, take half of that. How about that?
Yeah.
Do you think you'd starve? Absolutely not, because you eat too much already. Just be honest with yourself. Okay. Now this comes from me, who, I'm not little. Okay. You don't get this big not eating. Okay. So I know a little bit about eating. I know a little bit about calories, but I also know about exercise. And the group exercise, that's a wonderful thing. You are going to lose much more if you're working with a group of people as opposed to just working with yourself. So it's real important that you do get with some other folks. It's competitive at sometimes even. To do the thing, the biggest loser in the office, that's when people lose the most amount of weight. We did a biggest loser in my office last year, and we lost a total, this was 10 people. We lost a total now. And this was amazing. I mean, I'm telling you, 10 people, we didn't all lose a lot, but we all lost weight. I lost 30 pounds in 3 months. 30 pounds. Unfortunate thing is we did it right before the holidays. I gained about 15 of them back during the holiday because all the food there. And that's why I need to be the one telling this talk, because I know how to gain weight during the holiday. Okay? But I also know how to lose weight. or maintain weight. So exercise in the evening, as I said before, look at your carb content. How much of carb are you eating? I don't need you to count carbs. I really don't. Unless you're diabetic, I don't want you counting carbs. For certain diabetics that are kind of strict, have to be a little stricter with their diet, I want you to look at and know what the carbs are, but I don't want you to necessarily count them. I want you to look at it, see what has a lot of carbs versus what has a little carb. And then kind of adjust yourself. If you get into this strict thing, you won't do it for very long. I guarantee you. You just won't. So be honest with yourself. If you're eating too much, and you know you are, put half of put your whole amount on your plate, what you normally would eat. I challenge you to do that for a week. Put the whole amount on your plate that you normally would eat, and then scrape off half of it, after that, and then eat that. I guarantee you, if you do the other thing I'm going to tell you to do, you'll be full. And that other thing is, you were told that thing before, water.
Yeah.
Water. Just plain old water. You need to fill up, just about, I would say anywhere between 8 and 16 ounces of water before you eat one morsel of food. Why am I telling you that? One, it's going to get you a little more full. That's one thing. That just makes sense. But even more importantly, water is available there now for your metabolism. If you don't have water or enough water available, you won't be able to metabolize your food as well. And so you'll actually break your food down better just because you added that extra water. So do that before you eat, okay? And it's going to help you break that food down better, and also going to make you feel a little more fuller. And it's going to make you feel like, okay, I can do this, because now you're feeling full, because that's what we're after, isn't it? When we eat, we want to feel satisfied. We want to feel full. We don't want to feel stuffed. I mean, although Thanksgiving, we do get stuffed. We just do that. But that's not what we eat for. We eat so that we can feel satisfied. And that's what we need to start realizing, that we're eating to be satisfied, not to be stuffed, not to be full. So challenge you all to do that. Make your plate like you normally would if you're at home or wherever, and then just cut up half of it, half of whatever it was, and drink that water. Get a bottle of water, drink it down before you even eat the food, and then eat that. I guarantee you, you will not feel hungry. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Challenge me on that. Come back and let me know if it didn't work. And I'll tell you you're lying. It's gonna work. Another thing, don't deprive yourself of foods that you like. I'm gonna say that again.
Yeah.
This should bring a smile on your face. Don't deprive yourself of the foods that, if you like certain things, eat it. Eat less of it.
Right.
And then you don't feel like you're denying yourself things. And you don't feel depressed about, I'm on a diet. I can't eat this, I can't eat that. Eat it. But eat less of it. Cut it in half. Use that water principle again. Drink that bottle of water before you eat that, whatever that thing that you don't think you should be eating.
Yeah.
Don't deny yourself. And definitely don't deny yourself during the holidays, because food always does look a whole lot better during a holiday. I'm just saying it, the way it's presented and with the other stuff. Y'all know, y'all go on to parties and play. Your food just looks better around this time of year. So don't deprive yourself. Eat it, but just eat it in moderation. Just be smart about it. I think that to get away from the eating a little bit, because it's not really just about eating being healthy. During the holidays, there's a lot of stress. You all agree with that?
Yeah.
I can tell you that more people die during the holidays. Isn't that amazing? That there are more deaths around the holidays, because you always remember that Aunt so-and-so died around the holidays. And when we have the holiday, we think about those folks that we lost. And so, it's a depressing time. It can be. But it also can be a stressful time. We're thinking about how much money we're going to be able to earn. We're going to have to work extra to get those presents that we know that everybody's going to throw away after a week. We stress ourselves about things we don't need to stress ourselves about. So we need to watch that. We need to be very careful about that. I think that developing a very strong spiritual habits allows us to do that. When we pray and seek help, and I'm not going to get real spiritual on you all, but I can't help, I'm Christian. So I have to say what's in my mind and in my heart. But when you pray about things and you leave it to God, you know, He will take care of all of those needs.
Yes,
He will. And when you allow Him to do that and you don't allow yourself to stress about those things that aren't life and death, and most things aren't life and death, if you don't allow yourself to stress about those things, then you will have a happier, healthier life, especially during the holidays. So be thankful during the holidays. Don't be regretful. That's important. Remember that. Retreat. Get away. Take some time to get away. I don't care if it's a weekend away in Chicago. I mean, that can cost some money. Okay? Yeah, there you go. Groupon's out there. You know, do something to allow yourself to release, rest, and just, you know, retire away from all the hustle and bustle that you're going to see that, you know, in your neighborhood where you live. So be careful not to get yourself so wrapped up in all the hustle and bustle. Take some time to really just retire, to, you know, relax and get some time to retreat, just to get away from a lot of that stuff. And if it's just a day, do it. You know, just take some time to do it. And I say it's real important around this time too to associate with like believers, people that believe like you believe. You need to be in church. You need to be somewhere where folks believe where you believe. It's going to give you that comfort, that relaxation. They're going to give you cues and hints as to how they've dealt with situations in the past. That's going to help you. I mean, it won't hurt you for sure. So you need to do that. This is like the highest attendance time for church, you know, right around the holidays. And a lot of it is because of the stress. A lot of it is because of, I need to get my life right. I have to go to church. You know, all of those reasons, I don't care whatever the reason is, you need to be there because it's going to help you. So, and I say get out and enjoy the spirit of the season. The spirit of the season really is about what God did for us. Okay, He allowed His Son to die for us. We need to get out and enjoy that spirit. We need to get out there and see some folks smiling, happy, you know, about that fact. Not about the present that they're going to buy or get or receive it, but just about that fact that we got a great gift. I mean, that gift of Jesus. I mean, that's a wonderful gift. And just to have gotten that gift, we need to be walking around smiling all the time just because we have that gift available to us. Also, when you get out, make sure you do some sightseeing. See some stuff that you haven't seen before. There's some folks in here that have never taken a trip to Chicago just for a vacation. And if I asked you to raise your hand, you'd be surprised how many folks raise their hand that have never gone just to Chicago, 50 miles up the street where I just came from. Okay? Won't go there to just look around at all the beautiful decorations, people smiling, having a good time, seeing what the skyscrapers and shit. I mean, these are wonders of the world. I mean, just going out and just relaxing and seeing that kind of stuff, just, you know, understanding that God created this and this is a wonderful thing. I'm telling you, you got to do it. You absolutely got to do it. It's got to make you smile. So get out and enjoy the spirit of the season. Shopping is nice. Window shopping is even better. I love the window shop. I hate the shop. I don't like spending money, but I sure like seeing nice stuff. You know, I do. I like seeing it, and it don't have to be on me because every once in a while I like to put something on. You know, but you know, it's just nice to go out and just see nice stuff. That's part of your sightseeing. You know, just go out and enjoy, you know, what the season has to offer because all the nice stuff is out now. You know, all the different video games and stuff. That stuff is nice. I don't need to have it, but it's nice. You know, I know it's out there. So I can save toward it or do, you know, some things that I want to do. Some of those shoes they have out now, nice stuff out there. So, you know, I think you need to go and do that. This is the movie theater time. All the different great movies are going to be coming out now. Take some time to just kind of take in a movie. And, you know, what we don't do enough of now is get out to a movie. We sit at home, kick back, we've gotten into not being a social animal. We're not as social as we used to be. And we need to be more social. Just sitting there, that's kind of depressing if you think about it. If you're spending your whole day at home just, you know, scanning channels and looking at movies, I mean, it's okay, but get out. See, smile with some other folks, look around the theater, get scared with some other folks. It's just a wonderful thing to just be a part of that, and it just makes you feel better. I guarantee you, when you go to a movie and you see it out, it's much better than when you see it at home. Am I right or no? Yeah, so do that. It costs a little more money than it used to. Bring your own popcorn again. That's some high stuff. Okay, spend some quality time with your loved ones. The people that love you most, you need to be spending some time with them. And I'm talking quality time. I'm just, not just sitting in front of a TV. I mean, getting out, doing some things with them. Make sure you do that. That'll make you happy, and it'll make you healthy. I think dancing is a lot of fun. I think people need to do more dancing. For one, you'll lose some weight, and that's something. But even more, it releases something in you. It allows you to have these, what's called endorphins and enkephalins, those things that actually, give you a high just from moving around a lot. I mean, have you ever noticed that now anybody here never dance? Can I see a raise of hand of anybody that never dances? Okay, great. So everybody can get this feeling. Have you ever noticed that when there's a lot of folks dancing, you're dancing, you smile?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
You smile. You feel better.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. Why is that? It's because that social thing, that social animal is coming out, and also you're releasing those endorphins and enkephalins, those things that are in your body that release and relax you, and also give you a little bit of a high. You don't need to take artificial things to do it. All you need is just moving. Isn't that amazing? So, help someone in need. There's nothing like helping somebody else. I can say that without anybody trying to say something against that. It just feels good to help people. Wouldn't you agree? It just feels good when you do something good for somebody, and especially if they say thank you. Oh my God, it just does something for you. And so encourage yourself, your family to do that. This is the time for giving, not receiving. And what we've done is many times we've turned this into a time of receiving. What am I going to get for Christmas? No, it should be about what am I going to give to somebody else that needs something, not about what they want. Because sometimes what they want really isn't anything near what they really need. It's much more satisfying, I think, to satisfy a need than to satisfy a want. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
And so that's what I encourage you to do. Help some folks, okay? Aim not to gain weight, okay, but maybe maintain weight during the holidays. It's hard to just even maintain weight during this time. So try to do that. If you set your goal too high and say, well, during the holidays, I'm gonna lose 5 pounds, that's ridiculous. Why? Why? Stop. Don't do that to yourself. That's stress. Just maintain. Just maintain. Keep your weight. That's something to be proud about. When my patients come in after the holidays, if they haven't gained any weight over the holidays, I'm going to give them a big high five and a hug. I am so excited about that because it's an achievement to do that. And it's a major achievement. And when your doctor gives you a high five and a hug, oh my goodness, that's something else. That's
Yes.
really Not every doctor does that, but I do. So somebody's trying to call me while I'm giving this talk. Isn't that terrible? But that's the problem with technology. It's got too many things that it does. So it's supposed to just be a phone. I'm trying to act like the millennials and be real cool. Actually, what I was going to do was see, where's the computer, y'all? You just want to plug this in. That's what I was going to do, but I really don't like it. It looks cool, though. And where was I? I talked about dancing, helping someone in need, and getting more rest. During these holidays, we really don't get enough rest. We find ourselves working too hard. We're all working more hours than we need to. That's not good. But we do it because we want to get those gifts for those kids that won't appreciate them after we got them.
Right.
Okay. So try not to get yourself into that mode where you're not really taking some time to rest and relax. You know what? I'm going to get away from the stress part of it, and I'm going to talk about the infectious disease part of it. Folks, wash your hands.
Yes. Amen.
It's a simple little thing. Wash your hands. You know, before you eat, after you eat, after you've met a good number of people, shook their hands, guess what? You're carrying all of those diseases with you. And that's why we get so sick during the holidays. There's a couple reasons. One is we're around a lot of people on the holidays. And they're coughing and hacking, and guess where they cough?
Right in their hand.
Okay, where's the best place to cough, folks?
Your elbow.
Right here. Because nobody's shaking your elbow. Nobody touches your elbow. I hope nobody's touching your elbow. So, and it's easy to get to. Just as easy to get to as a hand. So, and wash your hands anyway. And that's why it's so important that, because so much disease is being passed around just in the hand. This mic here is probably so infected with stuff. We've had like 10 people. I have no idea what those folks have, what they coughed on. I'm going to wash my hands after. But it's important to realize that. Now, you shouldn't be so nervous that you can't touch things.
Right.
Just wash your hands afterward. It's simple. Don't not shake people's hands. That's just not right. That's not nice. Shake their hands and wash your hands afterward. Not right in front of them. That's not good. Okay. I think real important, and I'm going to end with this, making sure that you see your physician or your primary care provider, whoever that is, for your checkup. Usually the deductibles are met by the end of the year, so you want to get in there and get those deductibles met. If it's met already, then you're not going to have to pay much for it. Get your flu shot, your pneumonia shot, those kind of things. These things are like free at Walgreens. I mean, you can get this stuff done. You don't have to pay a whole lot of money for it. And that's kind of how I want to end, is that, see your doctor. Now, me, myself, and I want to be very frank and honest with you all, as of Thursday, I was just told in Iroquois Memorial Hospital that they have no need for me as a physician. Just told that. And I asked why, and they said, well, we don't have a reason. I have my thoughts about what that might be. I have no idea. Nothing against me. They said that we love you, we think you're great, we love what the patients are saying about you, we love what you're doing, but we've made that decision. Our board has made that decision. So they kind of caught me kind of for a loop, because I'm just out of here going there, and now I'm not there. I'm not sure where I'm going to be yet. But I do believe that Lord knows what he's doing. He always has another thing. Maybe my time there is, because the Lord knows what he's doing, maybe my time there has been served. And he wants me somewhere else for a time. I don't know. And I don't really care. What I care about is my patients. And the fact that they now have to scamper around to find out what's going to happen in this interim period, whatever that interim period might be. I'm looking forward to coming back to my home. I am. In July is when I actually can come back, legally. And so, because they have certain things, and most of you all know the story, so if you've read the newspapers at all, you know the story, but basically I have a non-compete with Riverside. So because I was not, I have to be 2 years, 20 miles away from practicing in Riverside, and that's just contractual. It's not a negative thing. It's not something that they drummed up. It is contractual, and something that all hospitals have when they bring on another physician, and they have the same thing there. So, and that's just what they do. It's a corporate thing. So, I don't have any animosity toward the folks that let me know that. I do think there's something financial there. I don't read between the lines. I don't know. But doctors cost some money. They cost some money. You gotta pay them. And so at this point in time, I'm not actually sure who number of folks in here who their primary physician is going to be for the next 6 to 7 months. And I do have a lot of folks that depend on it for care. But I do believe that you still need to see a primary care physician. And there are many good ones here in this town. There are many good doctors here. I am not the only one. I'm the best. To my own horn. Who else would? I mean, I really do believe, and it's only because I believe I strive for the best, as you should. I mean, there's no reason that you should not be the best at whatever you do, whatever you decide to do. You should be the best at it. And if you're not the best at it, you need to find out why. And then do it. Make it happen. So that's how I'm going to end you all with. And if you have questions, do I have time for questions? Do I need to have questions? I mean, I know we're way past the time that I heard we were going to be. But I don't want to, I want to make sure I respect the leaders of this. Okay, I do have some time. So I'm going to, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of questions? Okay, I'll do whatever my leaders are telling me. So, but I will answer questions. I love answering questions. That's what I do in my office. So if you ever made an appointment in my office, you know that if your appointment is at 9:15, you might get seen at 10:15. And you know what that reason is? Because I care. And I want to make sure that when that person walks out of that office, they're a lot smarter than when they walked in. I'm going to impart every amount of information they need to have their health care taken care of. That's just what I do. And I think that's what makes me great. And I think that I would want that from my physician. So that's what I'm going to give to you. So if you have some questions, I really would love to entertain questions. Please ask them. You all had some questions that you all asked before, and you had some non-professional doctor wannabes. That's my patient. So he's in my patients. I love him. But he gave some excellent information. I mean, I'm sure he answered a lot of questions. So if you all have any other questions, I'm here for you. And I can answer questions. I'll answer questions all day long. So yes, go ahead.
Question?
Yes.
Yeah. I heard several people say that breast cancer is synonymous with ovarian cancer, meaning that if you are at a high risk of ovarian cancer if you've been through breast cancer. Is that true, doctor?
The term synonymous, don't use that term, but there are people that have found that yes, if you have had one other type of cancer, particularly a female cancer like that, you are more likely to develop another type of female cancer. Yes, that's very true.
All right, thank you, doctor.
Oh, you don't want to ask questions?
Oh, great. Because I would like to hear the question. I don't want to answer something that I didn't need. But yeah, that is a really good question. But you're absolutely right that there's a higher chance of you developing another cancer if you already had one type of particular female cancer. Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. In
I
back.
don't need that microphone, I'm loud.
Yes,
I
she is.
just want to make a statement. What he said about he's caring is so very true. He was my daughter's doctor, she's 26, and he do take the time out to talk to you, listen to your problems. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I thought I knew some more about it, but what he told me gave me more education. So what he's saying is very true. He's a very caring doctor. That's all I want to say.
And she's a wonderful nurse, fantastic nurse. Love working with her. Was that good? Yeah, any other questions, please?
Yes, doctor. For insomnia, do you recommend medication?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely
Exactly.
not. No.
But
No.
what is your treatment?
I'm so glad you asked that question. And I may say that a lot of times today, but I really do. I am really glad because a lot of people are thinking the same thing. So I love those kind of questions. Insomnia is a medical issue that doesn't necessarily require a medication. Most medical issues don't require medication. Now, there are ways that you can help yourself to fall asleep. I mean, first of all, you need to find the root and the reason for the insomnia. It's not always just, I just can't sleep. There are sometimes reasons that you can't sleep. So first and foremost, you need to get a diagnosis of why you have insomnia. That's almost like saying, what do you do about tiredness? You get it checked out first and find out why you're tired.
Right.
That's the first thing. If your doctor deems it just to be your normal insomnia that doesn't have a medical issue attached to it, then most times just relaxation and reading a good book. Not a book that's going to have you, kind of, engrossed in it No, a self-help book. Something that's going to help you and make you a better person. Okay, so that's the time to do your building yourself up kind of stuff. Read the Bible first, okay, but then some self-help stuff. I mean, there's so many authors out there too that are writing things that can improve on yourself. And in these 90 days that I don't know what I'm going to be doing, I may be writing something. I'm planning on putting some writing down, doing some stuff. But yeah, that'll help because it encourages you before you go to sleep. But reading in itself makes your eyes tired.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that when you try to read at night, you go to sleep, especially if it's a book that you're supposed to read? Yeah, and it does. Reading, just the fact that your eyes are going back and forth across a screen makes your eyes tired, and eventually your eyes are just you're going to go to sleep. So in most people, that's one of the things, that if I found that there are no other medical issues going on, one of the best things, I'm telling you, there's nothing better. Getting a glass of water, okay, to fill you up, because otherwise what you do is you get up and go to the refrigerator, and you look in there, and you look, and you eventually find something just because you're up. So what I encourage you to do is get that glass of water, get some water, and then just, lay down with a good book, and particularly something that's going to be personal development type of book. Something that's going to personally develop you, make you better, make you want to be better. Okay, that's what I encourage.
Oh, thank you.
Any other? Come on, I know you guys have a lot of questions. It always starts out like this, where people won't ask questions because they're afraid that, my question is a dumb question, I don't want to ask that question. The dumbest question is the question that you never asked. That's the dumbest question because it was dumb that you didn't ask it. Because you had it on your mind, but you didn't ask it. You'd be so surprised. And really, that question that might be that dumb question, you may get in the answer some answers to some other questions that you had that weren't quite so dumb, even to you.
Dr. Alford, are there any substitutions as far as for salt? A lot of times they say don't have a lot of salt, don't season your food, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we like flavor. So are there any substitutions we have out there
I'm so
for
glad
salt?
you said that. Because a lot of people believe that salt is flavor. We attribute salt to flavor. Salt is a different type of flavor, but there are other flavors other than salt. Okay, if you look at Mrs. Dash lately, they've got like 7 or 8 different types of Mrs. Dash. None of them have salt in them. Not one of them. They have very nice seasonings, and that's what you're looking for, is you're looking for seasonings to season your food with flavor. I'm not saying don't eat salt. I would never tell you that, because salt has, it has its health benefits too. Okay, you need some salt, but you don't need to do what most folks do, is salting their food even before they even taste it. What you need to do is try to savor your food. Keep it in your mouth a little bit longer, chew it a little bit longer, and you'll actually get more flavor out of it just from the fact that you're chewing it longer. But use other types of seasonings. And I think that people have just gotten bogged down to one seasoning. Most people only need one seasoning in their cabinet. Lowry's. They seasoned salt, for those of you who don't know the term wow. But that's basically all they need, because they put it on everything. And so you need to look at what's in Lowry's, take out some of the salt, and use things that say low salt, things like that. Those work and they're fine. But yeah, that taste for salt is something that is kind of built into you when you're younger, and you tend to get used to it. And so you think that food doesn't have any quote taste to it if it doesn't have salt. It's only because that's how you've been encouraged. So what you have to do is change that, change your palate. And change your palate by eating different types of food.
When you have a lack of vitamin D, is it good to take a prescription medication or just vitamin D, just vitamins?
Excellent question. It's excellent because it answers a lot of other questions. A lot of people think that taking a bunch of multivitamins, I take vitamin D, I take some vitamin C, and I take some vitamin B, and I take some vitamin diamond, I take this, I take all these vitamins. I got this many vitamins to take, 21 different things, all of this. So I'm going to be super healthy. Not. There are a lot of companies out there selling vitamins and all these kind of things. I am not the one for vitamins. If you eat healthy, you're going to get all the vitamins and minerals out of the food if you eat healthy types of foods. Okay, there are certain foods that have all those vitamins and minerals in them. Now, if you're found to have a deficiency, that's a totally different thing. If you're found to have a vitamin D deficiency, then you need that deficiency dealt with. So you may need some medication to bring that vitamin deficiency back to where it should be. And of course, eating the kinds of foods that are high in those different types of vitamins or minerals, because we always concentrate on the vitamins. Nobody talks about minerals. Minerals are important. They're important to your health. She's got a question right there. But yeah, you need to look at where your deficiencies might be, and that's where you start talking to your healthcare provider to find out, do I have a deficiency in these things? And if I did, how would that manifest itself? How would it look? As opposed to assuming, which is what most people do, assume, well, I know I have a vitamin D deficiency because my bones hurt at night. Your bones can hurt for a million different reasons. That has nothing to do with that. So people always want to diagnose themselves, and it's okay to, to kind of, figure things out, think through it yourself, but, get a professional involved too. Don't just try to think you have to do it all yourself. Why? When you have a professional that can actually do that and help you with that. Yes.
So women over 50 should use certain vitamins that you buy over the counter. You hear so many commercials saying that women over 50 should use these certain vitamins, or you need things Regament for your mind and fish oil and things like that. Is that helpful for women over 50?
I think women at any age, men at any age, need to be eating the right kinds of foods and supplementing that which they won't eat. And I'm not saying can't eat, I'm saying won't eat. Because most times people won't eat the things that has those vitamins and minerals in them.
Yes,
they just refuse to. Okay, they don't want to, they just don't want to eat those things. So yes, you need to supplement those things. And over 50, you're losing more vitamins and minerals. Just because you're over 50. So yeah, your chances of developing deficiencies are much higher as you get older. So you may or you may not. I would, again, consult the physician or primary care person because they're going to suggest which ones make the most sense. I usually tell people you can take an over-the-counter one a day, multivitamin with iron in most cases. But why take iron if your blood count is normal? There's no need. You won't know that just by thinking, I wonder if my blood count, I get cold sometimes, so I must be anemic. I hear that way too often. Not true. Not true. Get that out of your mind. Just because you feel cold or your cold nature has nothing to do with your blood count. Nothing. There are people that are extremely anemic that feel completely warm in a cold environment. So don't let that fool you.
Dr. Alford, oh, wait.
He's got a big mouth too. He could easily
not much of a talker. After seeing you talk, after hearing you, after seeing you in the church, my question for you: have you ever considered a medical ministry MD, where you act as an evaluator, a motivator, and a critic for basically help? Or would you consider going into that direction? Les, and I know you're not in it for the money, but Les just talked about his history, and he's a multi-millionaire many times over. But I was just thinking, hearing you talk, hearing the responses, if you thought about a medical ministry, that puts you outside the sphere 20 miles and put you right back where the churches are.
Excellent question. The answer to that question is, that's not my calling. Simply put, the Lord has me and He knows where He's directed me. I don't. If that were my calling and He was drawing me toward that, then that's what I would do. Actually, I do it all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
I do it all the time.
Right.
And that's part of my ministry. But my other ministry is helping to heal those that come directly in front of me, those that I'm dealing with right at that time. That's where I do my best ministry work. And so for me, I would feel if that's all I did was consult, then I would feel I was outside of what the Lord has for me. And so unless He directs me otherwise, I mean, it's a great thought. I mean, but I do it. And I probably will never be a multimillionaire, and that's okay with me. I'm satisfied, I'm comfortable, I eat very well. as you can see. I take vacations. I'm okay. My life is wonderful. I love my life, and I love the people that I come in contact with. And so to get away from what I normally would do would probably make me feel like I'm not doing what I'm here to do. So I think when we know our calling and we're directed in our calling, we have much more joy in our life. So for me, that's where I am. One more question.
Okay. Do we have one? Okay, Dr. Alford, there are a lot of people with high blood pressure and don't even know it. Can you explain in layman's terms what's happening to the body, high blood pressure, and maybe tips that we can do to prevent it possibly?
I can guarantee you that everybody's blood pressure just went up just a few seconds. Okay, what's happening with blood pressure is that when we're first born, we're given these blood vessels that have a certain amount of breadth to them. They're either this big or smaller, microscopically. We're given that size when we're first born. Okay, think of a river. Okay, and when you think of the Kankakee River, we're right here. In the area where the Kankakee River is narrowest, guess what happens? Water goes faster, right? Yeah. That means the pressure at the end of that water is harder. Okay, the pressure on the sides of the wall of the river is greater. Okay, so in your blood vessels, if you have a tighter blood vessel, the blood pressure is going to be higher. If it's more open, it's going to be less. Your heart is pumping, it's just a pump. It's just pumping blood. And so if it's pumping too hard, then your pressure is going to be up. Okay? And so those are some of the reasons. Your heart's beating too hard, too heavy, like when that thing fell and everybody got nervous. Okay? Made your heart beat faster, made your heart beat stronger. And so through that same blood vessel, that it tends to dilate a little bit, but if you allow that blood vessel to get hard, then we call hardening of the arteries. And how that happens is by eating the wrong kinds of things, allowing that cholesterol to settle in those blood vessels, allowing those vessels to now not have that elasticity, and that's probably a medical term, but I think everybody understands. It's not elastic enough, it doesn't expand when blood goes through it, so now it's stiff. So you got this same amount of blood being pumped through this stiff vessel, and so that causes blood pressure to rise. If it goes to certain areas of the body, like the kidneys, it's going to cause problems with the kidney eventually failing because the pressure is too high for the kidneys to handle it. If it goes to the brain and the pressure is too high coming to the brain, you can have a stroke. Or another thing that can happen is that blood vessel can completely close off. You're not getting any blood supply to the area. That can cause a stroke. Same thing with the heart. If not, see, blood pressure went up again. And so there's certain things, stressors, anxieties, eating the wrong kinds of foods, high cholesterol foods and that, not exercising. Exercise, you know what it does? It relaxes those blood vessels more. It allows those blood vessels to do what they're supposed to do, contract and expand. The more it's allowed to do that, because you're exerting it, then you got more of a chance of not developing high blood pressure. So hopefully I'm keeping it as simple as possible, but that's really what it is. It's all about the blood vessels and all about the heart. Those two things determine what your blood pressure is. I saw another question right there. Oh. Any other questions? If not, I really do appreciate you all. I appreciate you all sitting and listening to me talk. It's been great. I will be seeking out counsel with my Lord to find out where He has me. You all please pray for me. Pray for my family. I'm just excited about the opportunity now that because I was released, now I have freedom. That's one way to look at it. And I'll be paid for the next 90 days. To write my book.
All right. Dr. Alford, Mr. Collins?
Yes,
we keep.